Good morning, Napa Valley. What a beautiful day this is here at the Center for Spiritual Living and what I call our sanctuary. Really, the sanctuary is the whole property. I'm dressed a little bit differently today because yesterday was our graduation day. We had 6 ministerial candidates graduate with their degrees and receive stoles, and everybody here, we had probably about 100 people here, and about half the people, or maybe a third of the people, were in robes. And it started at 2 o'clock, so by the end of the time it was hot, and I will be taking mine off shortly. I just wanted to let you know what a beautiful day it was. So the School of Spiritual Leadership has been here now a year and a half, and it was our first class of graduating. So it was a very beautiful people all over the Bay Area and beyond Oregon and Washington were here to be a part of that. So it was a lovely day. So we like to begin our service with our vision, and I tell you, as part of the School of Spiritual Leadership, it's definitely part of this vision to uplift people. So we begin with our vision that we are an inclusive community for spiritual growth and compassionate action. And our mission statement: we are co-creating a world that works for everyone by living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people and all faiths. So glorious to have that affirmation and that truth that we are evolving right where we are. Such a gratitude for that today. Announcements, my announcements, we have been so busy in the last 2 months for preparing for Sip and Savor and this graduation. We've given ourselves a break, so there's not a lot of things in the next few weeks. And I know all our volunteers are going, whoosh. But I do want to acknowledge you if you were part of setting up either Sip and Savor, anything that was preparing for Sip and Savor, the after or graduation, any of those events we've had in the past month. If you could just stand up, and we'd like to give you a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you so much. We really, literally could not do it without you. So thank you so much. We do have we're starting a summer concert series in June with Karen Drucker here in the courtyard, and that'll be on June 25th. So mark your calendars for that. You'll hear more information about that time comes. And then to backtrack, next week is Bottle Rock, just to warn you, this downtown area changes. But usually Sunday morning is kind of this break, so we will have services here. And just in case, we're going back indoors, because as you can tell, the heat is picking up a little bit. So we're moving back indoors. Chairs will be spread out. Mask will be optional. So please protect yourself if you so feel like you need to. And if you're not feeling well, I hate to say this, but please don't come. We love you, and watch us online. We'll continue to be online, but we would love to have you in person, and we'll be celebrating with coffee and everything afterwards, conscious conversation after the service is outdoors anyway. But we so appreciate everybody being here and being present. And now, before it gets too caught up in everything I'm talking about, let's begin with some music. Recording artist, friend of mine, fellow brother, let's welcome Jami Lula.
Yes, we've walked some miles, some walks of intention. Good morning, We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Oh, we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Oh, I am that I am. Oh, I am that I am. We are are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Sing it if you know it. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Here's the simple part. Oh, I am that I am. Come on. Oh, I am that I am. One more time. Oh, I am that I am. Oh, I am that I am. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. Come on, y'all. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. One more time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. We are the harvest. We are the harvest we reap. We are the harvest we reap.
So once again, welcome to all today. We are a center that embraces all faiths, cultures, and orientations, and we're so happy to have everybody here on this particular morning. If this happens to be your first time to join us in a service, we appreciate you being here, and there'll be official welcome of you later in the service. But I just want to move right now into a contemplative time. Our faith is founded on meditative and spiritual practices, and part of that, a little time for affirmative prayer and a moment of pause as we go into this time. And we begin with more music.
Something's calling me. Something's calling me. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Feels like I'm walking on marbles. Can't still the earth beneath my feet. Is my head in the clouds, my naked legs left dangling. I can feel my heart begin to pound. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. A long dark night, my soul, it wanders. Can't see the light that moves me. If God is everything and everywhere that I belong, Spirit gentle wakes me from my sleep. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before.
So good morning and welcome everyone to this center of love, this center where we allow our spirits to soar, where we attune ourselves to the one spirit that is everyone has inside and outside. I just know that this place that we are in right now is a holy place, and that whatever words come to you today to hear, feel in your heart, feel in your soul, know that you are loved, know that you are a precious gift. So let's take a few moments to breathe all of that goodness into ourselves. And thank you. So I have a quote from today's Science of Mind magazine from Ernest Holmes. And he says, I tune out all dull, negative ideas and tune in with the sunshine of life, with brightness and laughter, with the joyous presence that is life itself. So reflecting on yesterday's experience with all these wonderful women who've gone through their journey of becoming ministers, and we all celebrated with them, there was such a high consciousness in our center that I was wondering if I was actually levitating at some point, because it was awesome. And I'm so proud and to belong to this center and to know that our love and our life goes out to people in all parts of this country and all parts of the world, and that we hold the consciousness that God is everywhere and that we see God in everyone. And I was struck by what Reverend Abigail said, that a minister, there's two things a minister can't be, and that is they can't know it all and they can't do it all. And that's why ministers have practitioners and have congregations, because we help them hold that light that they hold for us. And I'm so grateful to know that and to hold that. And so I bless Kristen and her journey that she's on, and I know that she is blessed where she is, and the people that surround her where she is are loved. And in some ways it feels like people come into our center and they become practitioners, and they go on to become ministers, and then they leave, and it's like, wait a minute. But if this place is just a jumping off point to express to the rest of the world how great they are and how great you are, then I'm all for it, and I think it's fabulous. So I just have one thought for you today. Joy is the greatest mission in life. And if you're not experiencing joy, find a practitioner. We'll help you out. Okay. God bless.
just want to bless you on your journey. That rite of passage that you took yesterday, that you've been doing for a bit, but I want to acknowledge you. Living your ministry. I hope that you go out and bring the healing upon the planet that is so in need right now. There's nothing broken, but it's all coming up for us to look at and to decide, is this where we want to live? Is this who we want to be? Let me walk to the banks of the river of love, where the current runs deep, baptized in the one, where there's no separation and the light is all we see. We honor all our differences, and love will set us free. Oh, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Yeah, go. Oh, you rock my soul. Oh, you rock my soul. I see the blessings of my past. It's time to requalify. Let's not forget, but learn to forgive. God knows I've got to try. It's my responsibility to heal the wounds in me. To heal the wounds in me. To heal the wounds in me. Compassion, faith and hope and love, and the truth will set us free. Oh, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Oh. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. I said, oh, you rock my soul. I said, oh, you rock my soul. Sing it with me if you know it. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on, yeah. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Oh, you rock my soul. I said, oh, you rock my soul. I said, Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on, yeah, yeah, yeah. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. Mother, Father, God, there's a healing going on. There's a healing going on. There's a healing going on. I sing, oh, you rock my soul, Lord, you rock my soul.
My soul has been rocked. Thank you, Jamie. Beautiful. Takes me a moment to come back here. So first of all, I want to appreciate Diane Browning, our practitioner, for that beautiful reflection that was fitting today also. So as senior minister here and dean of the School of Spiritual Leadership, if you might be new here, I don't think I introduced myself before. I'm Reverend Jay Lang. I get the privilege, as Diana was talking about, to birth new ministers out into the world, and it'd be great if they stayed around. But I think Reverend Kris, from the very beginning, she had the courage to come out here to come to school from North Carolina, and I knew and then she turned around and moved back to Virginia. It seems like it would have been easier to stay on the East Coast, but that's a spiritual journey. Sometimes we don't know. We just follow Spirit, and I've always known you to do that. Yesterday, when I introduced her as a graduate, I called her a way shower, and she is a way shower. She shows the way with her consciousness, with her truth speaking that she does, and just her beingness. So some of you remember her from when she was here as an intern and all the different hats she wore here. And now she's the senior minister of the Celebration Center for Spiritual Living in Falls Church, Virginia. Please welcome Reverend Kris.
So I was sitting there plotting my journey up here. Speaking of paths, there's a lot of fauna and flora. All right, y'all, hold on. I'm just going to take you in for a second because, oh my gosh, so much. I'm going to attempt to adjust this down a little bit. Is that better, Phil? Okay. Hey, y'all. I moved back somewhere where people don't look at me strange when I say that anymore. Yesterday was really profound, and it's interesting. It kind of caught me off guard a little bit because I officially graduated in 2020, but of course it was all canceled, and I didn't do anything on that. Well, I got a tattoo on that day, but I didn't graduate on that day, and so I was really looking at this as I hemmed and hawed about whether or not to come. And I have to admit that the deciding factor was that it was here and that y'all are my community and I wanted to see all of y'all. So I was like, sure, I'll go have a party and then I'll see my people and it'll be great. And, California's lovely at this time of year and all of that. And so the auspiciousness of yesterday caught me off guard a little bit because I've been doing it for a year and a half now, And then hearing Diana's tribute and what Reverend Jay said about me yesterday was just so honoring. And then, I get the extra honor of I get Jamie twice because he was our musician yesterday and now he's back here this morning. And so it's just profound to be here and to see all of y'all and to witness. And this microphone is driving me nuts. Is it poppy for y'all out there? Is it just me? Okay, I will leave it alone then. I will just know that it's all good. So Reverend Jay picked my title for me, The Spiritual Path as a Minister. And I was like, what in the world am I going to say? My whole life, it's just my life. Here you go, is my spiritual path as a minister, right? But I got to thinking, what is that? What does that mean? And then how can I relate that to people who have no interest in being a minister, right? Not everyone, this isn't everybody's calling. And I thought it was interesting because yesterday something else that Reverend Abigail said was, if you can do anything else besides be a minister, do it, because being a minister is really hard. And well, I kind of had that feeling, Buffy, because I didn't hear that until I was already a minister, and she's like, really? Nobody said that to you before? And I was like, no, they didn't. But, you know, I honestly kind of disagree. And I don't disagree with Reverend Abigail very often, but I do, because this is the most incredible, amazing thing that I've ever done. It's also like super hard and exhausting and all of the things that everybody says that it is, but it is so amazing and profound. And the things that I get to witness and be a part of, I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't trade all of the hard parts to have all of the good parts for anything else. And so I know not all of y'all know me, and I have to admit, it's so lovely to come home to a center that was my center that, you know, I love y'all. I want y'all to flourish and be so successful. And then to see so many faces that I don't know, like that is the mark, right? That y'all are growing and thriving and like just, it just makes me really happy, y'all. So I know y'all want to hear what I'm up to and all of that, but I want to just give a little bit of background. So some of y'all have heard these stories before, but just bear with me. So I have been on a spiritual journey my whole life. Like I grew up very fundamental Christian, and kind of, I was that kid in Sunday school, like, how can heaven be heaven if my uncle's in hell? Like that kind of thing, you know? And asking, and, you know, how did Cain and Abel have children if they were only Adam? You know, those kinds of questions, all that, right? I was that kid in Sunday school. And then I kind of fell away in high school. But what was interesting, and I don't actually know that I've said this before, is that I knew that there was something. And I knew that it was my job to tell people about the something. So even though I didn't believe it, I was still telling other people about God. It was this very odd sort of like, I know there's something and like you need to know about it, but like I don't really believe in the something that I'm telling you. It was a very weird sort of like something. And then I kind of fell away, but very quickly when I was 18 years old, I found the law of attraction and these teachings of new thought and all of that. And so I have been in this teaching for almost half my life at this point. Almost, right? I've been on this path for a long time. And it took a lot of stops and starts and messes and mistakes, and that wasn't what I meant to have happen a lot. Like the law of attraction is really quite profound, and the secret method that we teach, like just think a thought and boom, you'll have like the car in your driveway. That's how I learned it, right? That doesn't actually work in that way as much as we would like for it to. And so I had several missteps where I'm like, that is not what I meant to create it, right? Like that was not what we were going for here, people. I'm not sure what happened there, where the disconnect was. And over time, I found unity, and then I found Centers for Spiritual Living. And I knew pretty quickly, like this was it, right? And so I became a practitioner. And then I decided that I was going to go somewhere else to become a minister. And so that somewhere else, through a whole series of events, ended up being here. And so y'all are really the ones that raised me. And it's so interesting to come back here and see all of the things that Celebration Center now does because of y'all. Like we've implemented, last year we had our first annual movie month. So for the month of October, we did Zootopia. And then we all dressed up at the end of the month, just like y'all do here. Cause I was like, this is so much fun. Y'all have to do it. And everybody participated. We say our vision every week. I got that from y'all. You know, there's so many things. And I think that that's something that I hadn't thought about till I was really sitting here, of like how much of y'all is in my ministry back home. And so the meat of what I really want to talk about is fitting in versus belonging. So I know that Reverend Jay loves Brene Brown, and I am obsessed with Brene Brown currently. I have been using the Atlas of the Heart, her newest book, right, in my own center this whole month for emotions. So I highly recommend it. I literally own it in hard copy on Kindle and audiobook because you just cannot own enough Brene Brown. And one of the things that she talks about is, these are two of the emotions or experiences that she talks about in the book, is fitting in and belonging. And she talks about how they are near enemies. And so a near enemy, this is a Buddhist idea of that a near enemy is a emotion or a feeling that looks similar, or not even an emotion or a feeling, it's a thing that looks similar to the positive side of it, but it actually undermines it. So a good example is like pity and compassion. Like they both might sound the same, but you can feel the difference when somebody's being compassionate towards you versus when they're pitying you, right? And so even though you can't quite put your finger on it or maybe be like, ugh, don't do that, but you can't really know why, you can see where pity undermines authentic compassion, right? And so in the same way, this idea of fitting in undermines belonging. And in Brene Brown's book, Atlas of the Heart, she asked a series of 8th graders what the difference was between fitting in and belonging. And they had all kinds of amazing answers. I'm trying to remember some of them because I didn't write them down. I wrote down all kinds of things and it wasn't that. They said things like fitting in is where where they don't care if you're there or not, but belonging, where you care that you're there, but they don't care. And belonging is they care as much as you do that you're there in the group, right? They said things like that. And they said things like, not belonging at school is hard, but not belonging at home is heartbreaking, right? I mean, just profound things coming out of the mouths of babes, right? This idea of fitting in versus belonging. And so I was looking at my path of ministry, because really I think that I started on this journey towards this becoming a minister when I was about 3, right? As this idea of fitting in versus belonging. And I kept trying to fit in to these places that just weren't meant for me. They just weren't. And so it's been really profound to then land in Virginia and really there's been multiple belonging points, right? It's like I found Science of Mind and I'm like, oh, this is it, like I belong, right? And then I found Napa and I'm like, okay, this is it, like becoming a minister here. And now I'm here in Virginia and it's this coming home sort of settling. And I remember the first time when I candidated for this position, it was during COVID. I have to admit that I had several times where I was like, I cannot believe that I agreed to take over a church that I had never been in before COVID in the middle of a global pandemic and move across the country and then bring them back to in-person services because they were online only, just like we were here, to a church that I had never been to in person. And so all of a sudden I'm meeting all of these people and there were several meltdowns, I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of crying as I just, it's one thing to run a church on Zoom and to just have you and another person sitting in an empty sanctuary. And it's another thing to set out all the chairs and know they're about to be filled with people who you feel like I feel like I knew, but I had never met or touched in person. It was very odd, right? But when I candidated for that position, I was on Zoom with them twice, and then I came in person, and I had a series of meetings, like 1 and 2 people at a time, to outside, social distance, all of that. And I spoke that Sunday morning from the pulpit, and it was just me in the room, just me and one tech guy, just the 2 of us, and I stood in front of, we have one of those beautiful like plexiglass clear with the chakras. It's quite delightful. And I stood in front of it and it was like this coming together like I had never felt before. And I said, oh, this is it. This is it. This is home. And luckily they agreed. That would have been interesting, right? But it was this profound moments. And when I first came into the sanctuary and I looked around, there was this tree on the wall, this metal tree, and it had all these words hanging off of it. And I said, what's that? And they said, that's our visioning for a new minister. That's all the words, that's all the things and the qualities that we want in our new minister. And so that tree with all of those words now hangs in my office. And when I repainted my office, I wrote all of those words on the walls before I painted the office as like this reminder that it's just surrounding me, you know? And I wrote my own visions and my own thoughts. And it's this sense of belonging like I have never felt before. And I look back at all of those times that that I was trying to fit in to these places that weren't really meant for me, and how incredibly challenging that was, how hard that was, how much I had to change who I was. Brene Brown in the Atlas of the Heart says, true belonging is the spiritual practice of believing in and belonging to yourself so deeply that you can share your most authentic self with the world and find sacredness in both being a part of something and standing alone in the wilderness. True belonging doesn't require you to change who you are. It requires you to be who you are. And I would say it requires you to become who you are, right? It requires you to figure it out. And so that, to me, this path of being a minister, that's what it's all been. It has just been this really, really, really long journey of figuring out who I am and then doing it on purpose, for the most part. I have moments. And so it requires a level of authenticity with myself that I have never experienced before. And I'm like a fairly authentic, y'all know that I'm a fairly authentic person. I was authentic when I was here, right? And yet this new part of this journey requires a level of authenticity that I have never known. And that level of authenticity requires some serious vulnerability, y'all. Brene says that vulnerability is a paradox because it's the first thing that I want to see in you, and it's the last thing I want to show you in me. Right? We really don't like to show our vulnerable parts and our messy parts and those parts that we spend so much time covering up. And yet, isn't that what we seek out in other people? We want to find one another's realness and humanness and messiness. We want to look beyond the Instagram profile or the Facebook status with all the pretty pictures, and we want to see the messiness and the tears and the parts of us that are broken and unhealed. We're fully whole, but there's parts that are simultaneously perfect and whole and complete, and nothing's broken, as Jamie said, and yet there's healing to be done there. There's a healing going on. And the first place that I've had to do that in is myself. And because you cannot, as a leader, you cannot lead somebody that you're unwilling to go. You just can't do it. And so as much as I want to point the direction, oh yeah, you should be vulnerable. It's over, that path's over there. If you just take a left at the sign, you'll find it. It's, kind of covered by some bushes because nobody goes down it ever, but you'll be fine. You'll be fine. They're not going to go, right? And so I have to be willing to be the first one to go with the machete, clearing out the way, stepping into the path, doing the hard work. And it has been challenging, it's the spiritual path as a minister, but I think it's like the spiritual labor and delivery with no painkillers as a minister. It's like birthing this baby. We were talking about, I don't know how we got on baby birthing yesterday, but we were talking about what's the acceptable weight before you should ask for a C-section. And I was a 10 pounds baby. And my mom had me all natural. Thanks, Mom. Love you very much. And I was talking about how my son was 7.5 pounds, and that was about the max that I was willing to go, right? And so birthing yourself into a place of being able to support other people and birthing themselves, and then we all birth this spiritual center together. I think that's a little bit more than 10 pounds, right? And there have been moments of just profound grief and shock and surprise and anguish and heartache for myself, for other people in my community. And there's also been moments of profound beauty and honoring and love and joy and, surprise. And all of it has been so good, even in the messy, hard, I really would rather be anywhere but here. Who told me to be a minister? This was a terrible idea. Even in those moments, it's like underlying all of that joy that Diana was talking about is under there. And so I can be crying my eyes out, and yet also in this place of maybe not joy, but like enjoyment, right? Like I can enjoy the totality of the experience of being human as a minister in this moment, whatever that means to me. And so it has been such an incredible year. So I left here, oh gosh, it was right at the beginning of January 2021, right? Just under a year and a half ago. And most of y'all don't know, but Jen and I had actually broken up a couple months before we left. And it was very amicable. We're still friends. We moved back across the country together. We took care of the animals. We packed all our stuff together. So it was really fine. She's in Asheville. She's doing great. She sends her love. So, in the span of 1 week, I moved across the country to a new city, a new state that I'd never lived in. I was all of a sudden newly single. I landed on a Monday. I had Tuesday to kind of like breathe. I didn't have my moving truck because of a series of events, so I had nothing with me. I licensed as a minister on Wednesday, and then I started as the senior minister of my church on Thursday. So my whole life, just like 180 as different could be, right? And I went on adrenaline until about May. And then I crashed in May, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so tired. What is going on? And I think that it took 5 months for my body to be like, no, wait, we need a break. This was a lot, right? This was a lot. We need to process some of this. And so then from May until I don't know, a month ago or something like that, it's been this journey of discovering what radical self-care for myself as a minister is. And I think that this is something for those of you who were here yesterday, you heard a lot of ministers talking about you got to find your own self-care. You got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself. Several of them said, do as I say, not as I do. You got to take care of yourself, right? And what I have found for myself, I don't know if it's me or my brain chemistry or my, chemical makeup, or if it was how hard and fast I went slamming into my new life, or if it was, the 80 hours weeks that I was trying to work. But whatever it was for me, radical self-care all of the sudden became life and death. That I was not going to be able to stay in that position and doing that work if I didn't figure this out. I had no choice. And so all of a sudden, people had told me that, and I was like, I'm going to be so good at self-care, y'all. Like, y'all don't even know, like, I do a workshop on this. I got this, right? I got this. And then I was like, it's fine that, like, I don't take a day off because I love what I'm doing. So it's fine. It's all good. But all of a sudden it wasn't, right? And all of a sudden I was like, dang it, I'm not as good at this as I thought I was, right? And so all of a sudden I was in this place of, what does self-care look like for me? And it was also really interesting because this is not something that we talk about in ministerial school, and I really think we should. So, y'all that are in school, listen to me. That when we're in school, school is our hobby. It's our free time. It's our spiritual practice, and everything that we're doing is the stuff that we do on the side, right? Because we're still having to work and do all of these other, like, we still have our lives. And then when people ask, what do you like to do for fun? I don't know about y'all, but I always say, well, spirituality, right? Like, I'm just always at my center, and right? That's it. And then all of a sudden, like, literally one day, spirituality becomes your job, and people start saying, what do you like to do when you're not working? And you're like, what? Hobbies? What are those? My hobby is spirituality. And so I've gotten to cultivate what is my hobby, and I've taken up art and doing creative practices, and I learned to paddleboard last year, and just all of these things. And now this idea of radical self-care to me is being so clear in what I like to do when I'm not doing spirituality. I know, weird to not do spirituality, and all of life is spiritual. I get that, that I get to figure out who I am when I'm not striving and pushing so hard for all of my goals to be realized. All of a sudden, they just were realized, and I had to figure out this whole new life. And I also realized, and Brene Brown says this, I know, she's like, my center is so sick of hearing about Brene Brown, I'm pretty sure. But she talks about the idea that the most compassionate people are the most well-bounded. That we think that compassionate people are the ones that just give and give and give and give and give of themselves, but that's not true compassion. That's enmeshments. That's this weird, like, I need to give of myself because I don't want to look at who I am. I don't want to stand in my own power. And so actually the most compassionate people are the ones that have the best boundaries, the ones that are standing firmly in themselves, and the ones that can say no, because when you can say no, then your yes means something. Everything, my friend says, everything is a holy no or a hell yes. And if you're saying yes to things that are holy no's, then people can't trust that your compassion is coming from a place of true compassion and empathy, and not from a place of enmeshment or need or unwillingness or inability to say no to it, right? So that has been what this journey has been for me. I also, so my whole life took this 180, and I just right as soon as I got settled into no pets, and I had this condo, and I'm single, and I'm just doing my work and all of that, then Reverend Ryan comes flitting into my life all of a sudden, and it became so apparent so quickly that we were meant to be together in this thing called life. And so they are my fiance now. I know, coming back with a fiance, yay! And all of a sudden I had to figure out, okay, so what does ministry look like in partnership now, right? All of a sudden I had to figure it out again. And so it's this path is being, oh gosh, what did she say yesterday? Everything was happening so fast, I'm going to have to go rewatch my own graduation to figure out what the heck happens there. But she was talking about, maybe one of y'all that were there can remember, deeply connected but not attached. Yeah, so you have to be deeply committed. That's what it was. Deeply committed and remain unattached. And so that's what it is. I'm deeply committed to the work I'm doing, and yet figuring out how to release attachment so when it all falls away and something new comes in, I can pivot and pivot again and pivot again and pivot again and pivot again. And so, yeah, that's, to me, the spiritual path as a minister is the same. It's not any different that my spiritual path was before I was a minister, right? It's not any different from y'all's path. I just get to do it publicly, as they also said yesterday, and that is so true. Everybody is all up in my business all the time, right? And I get to, because I'm in this position of publicly walking my spiritual path and modeling and finding that little, vulnerability pathway and cutting a path through it with my machete, because of that, then I get to be so much clearer and I get to do my work on such a deeper level. And when people ask me what I do, I get to say, oh, I'm a minister, I do spirituality. And that means that I am like constantly in my shit and I'm being messy in front of other people and I'm, I'm screwing it up and I'm figuring it out and it's brilliant and beautiful. And people come to me with the most heart-wrenching stories, positively heart-wrenching and negatively heart-wrenching, these stories that just break my heart open time and time and time again. And all of it is the spiritual path. And I'm so, so grateful for this community and for your part in my path towards where I am now, because I've truly realized like all of the dreams that I've had for like a decade, all of a sudden I realized. And it's like I look at my life and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm the minister of a center that I love and I have amazing people around me and I'm engaged to the most incredible fiance. Sorry to all of y'all who are married, but mine's the best. And and I have this amazing dog and I have this amazing, rich life of joy outside of my work, and I go paddleboarding and I go on vacation and I come to California and I see my friends and all of these things. And y'all were such a birthing ground for me. And so I think that's my point of all of this, is just gratitude. And I stand up here and I look around, and whether I know you and I've met you or not, it's just gratitude for the center and the space and these people and the offering from Reverend Jay and just everything that has come to this moment. So, thank y'all. Am I supposed to pray?
I'm just following your lead, and I feel kind of mellow today, but naked, I'm naked, you can't see me. Naked, I'm naked, you can't see me, 'cause I've been hiding behind my garbage, hiding behind my garbage. Naked, Lord, I'm naked, you can't see me. Frozen, I've been frozen in my history. Frozen, I've been frozen in my history. But I've been thawing in your love light, thawing in your love light. Frozen, I've been frozen in my history. Dying, I've been dying to what I've been. Dying, I've been dying to what I've been. But I've been rising like Jesus showed me, rising like Jesus showed me. Dying, I've been dying to what I've been. Whoa, 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 whoa. Use me. Oh, won't you use me just as I am right now, right here. Use me, oh Lord, use naked, I'm naked. Will you use me? Naked, Lord, I'm naked. Will you use me? 'Cause I've been hiding and I've been frozen, dying, but I've been rising. Naked, Lord, I'm naked. Use me. Oh, naked, Lord, I'm naked. Use me. Use me. Use me.
Well, thank you, Rev Kris. It was beautiful, beautiful. And you can see why I called her a way shower, even if it's with a machete. She is showing us the way, and that's wonderful. I will also say that I started ministry school 20 years. I was 20 years older than you did when I started. But I will say, for me, not following that, answering that call became more painful than actually answering it, because I had been avoiding it for 20 or 30 years. So, yeah. So I'm grateful to be here also, and we're grateful for you being birthed here. We're glad to be a birthing center here. This is a time in our service when we invite you to be part of our sharing of abundance. We know that what you give of your time, talent, and treasures comes back to you in the way of circulation, of giving and receiving. And we so appreciate you being a part of this, supporting us, and opening up to a greater heartfelt connection with Spirit in giving and receiving. So in a moment, as the music plays again, there'll be a basket in the front and basket in the back if you choose to give in person. These baskets are here, as well as you're able to give online if you're watching virtually, or if you just prefer to give online through PayPal or texting or different ways that you can find on our website or that you're being shown online. So we're grateful. So we just raise our hand to our heart with whatever we're giving today, whether it be of love or financial abundance, and we say, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I circulate, and so it is.
Lord, I'm grateful, so very thankful. I feel a blessing, divine caressing. Oh Lord, I'm grateful, so very thankful. My soul's addressing the prayers I'm dancing. When I wake up, I pray, how can I serve today? I surrender all confusion. I live in humanhood, no one's misunderstood. We are all a holy union. We are one holy union. We are one holy union. We are one holy human union. We are one holy union. We are one holy union. We are one holy human union.
So good to have you here with Jamie. Now that you've been back up, we're back in service, we'll have you up here more often. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. He's an LA person, so we make exceptions for certain people, but we believe we're the best part of California here, Thank you for everybody for attending today. If this happens to be your first time with us today, we have a gift for you. If you're willing to raise your hand, we'd love to acknowledge you. Anybody here for the first time? Perhaps first time online as well. We welcome you. Was there a hand raised back? Oh, no, it's just a motion there. So we appreciate everybody being here. We welcome you. So we're just going to raise our hands and give the blessing to everybody here, as well as our new graduates. And oh, by the way, we have a couple students here, so we're not scaring them away. This is all, ministry is good, right? So, and to online as well. We bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for your presence in our community, and so it is. So feel free to stay around. We've got, I think, leftover cupcakes from yesterday. Lots of really delicious cupcakes and coffee and wonderful conversation. So please be a part of that. And our community affirmation, if you repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. I am led by Spirit. I'm guided by wisdom. I'm protected by love. I am here to be a blessing. I am so grateful. And so it is. Let's all stand up for Jamie's last song here.
We're just going to do a chorus of one of my favorite songs. You're perfect. You're golden. You're the light of my life. You're my love from forever. In your reflection, I'm perfect. So I'll keep looking at you to keep witnessing my perfection. In you as me. Oh, this is easy. Lie-di-di-di-di-di, lie-di-di-di-di, lie-di-di-di-di-di. And all the angels sang, lie-di-di-di-di-di, lie-di-di-di-di, lie-di-di-di-di-di. This is where we get to sing to one another. You're perfect, golden light, my love. You're perfect, golden light, my love. Sing to another person. You're perfect, golden light, my love. Sing to someone that you don't know. You're perfect, golden light, my love. Let's sing to Reverend Kristen. You're perfect, you're golden, you're light, you're love. You're perfect, you're golden, you're our light, our love. Peace and blessings, y'all.
As we go forth, we know we are the light and that others are the light. Have a great Sunday.